Tonight, opening arguments at a murder trial. What the Crown told a courtroom in Brantford about an elderly suspect accused of killing her husband. Plus, a CTV News exclusive. What a lengthy Freedom of Information investigation is revealing about the costs related to the Public School Board's former Director of Education. And when waiting for a pizza,
2 days
is a story in itself.
It's become like a phenomenon. Like, we've only really been doing it for 2 weeks, and we've got, I don't know, 800,000 video views.
The vending machine that's going viral as it serves up slices. Good evening. We begin in Brantford and the murder trial of an elderly woman accused of killing her husband. Today, the Crown laid out how and why they believe 80-year-old Elfgard Outra did it. CTV's Alexandra Hullock brings us details from day one.
Like pieces of a puzzle, the Crown says it plans to bring forward evidence in the second-degree murder trial of Elfgard Outra, with the final picture, they say, putting the elderly woman behind bars. Prosecutors made their opening arguments Monday as all 12 jurors and Elfgard herself listened silently. The Crown lawyers say the woman used a hammer from her garage to attack and kill Gordon Outra, her husband of 30 years. Gordon was found dead at the couple's Brant County farmhouse on November 24, 2022. The Crown says he was found lying in a pool of blood, and there were blood splatters and stains marking the walls. Gordon allegedly had multiple lacerations to his head and cuts on his hands. His cause of death was deemed to be blunt force trauma. Court also heard Elfgard has a gambling addiction, often arguing with her husband over her habit, which at times was fueled with family money. As for what exactly went down that Thursday morning, counsel claims Elfgard's statements to police have been inconsistent, adding that while in custody, Elfgard admitted to her daughter that she killed Gordon. The evidence will show that Elfgard Outra was the last person to see Gordon alive and the first person to find him lying down on the floor, Crown Prosecutor Janice Kim told the court. The Crown emphasized to the jury that opening arguments are not considered evidence, and an agreed statement of facts is expected to be presented Tuesday. The Crown is also expected to call on several witnesses, including a police officer and paramedics, who were some of the first to arrive at the scene. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. Alexandra Hullock, CTV News, Brantford.
A knife-point robbery in Kitchener has regional police sharing some video tonight as they look for a suspect. Investigators releasing this video showing a masked man demanding money while holding a large kitchen knife. It happened at a store in the Belmont and Glasgow area of Kitchener. The suspect got away on a bicycle. Police say they believe this person is a white man in his 40s, around 5'7", with a slim build. And there's also video tonight of a smash and grab robbery at a mall in Oshawa as shoppers jumped into action to try to help take down the armed suspects. CTV's Allison Hurst has details.
Security comes running into a jewelry store as a suspect takes off using bear spray and flees down the hall of the Oshawa Centre. A couple of them are grabbed in the hallway, one by a shopper who held him in a chokehold. Both were then held on the ground by shoppers and mall security until Durham Regional Police arrived.
Fortunate that these civilians stepped in and assisted. We're more fortunate that nobody was harmed, because ultimately we don't know what suspects have in their possessions, what weapons they may have with them.
Police say 4 suspects attempted to rob the jewelry store, and 2 of them got out and into an awaiting getaway car. They got out and started running, though, after a minor collision at Stevenson Road North and King Street West.
It attempted to actually flee police officers. I mounted a curb. I was involved in a minor collision with civilian vehicles. Nobody was injured in that collision, fortunately, but those suspects then fled that vehicle.
Police, along with its K9 unit, caught and arrested them. Police say there were minor injuries due to the bear spray inside the mall, something that continued to impact workers today.
I started coughing. I had to go outside to get some fresh air.
She had to wear a mask to get through her shift, but news of the attempted theft didn't rattle her.
We hear of robberies a lot, so we're kind of like immune to it.
3 adults are now facing several charges, including robbery, possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000, and conspiracy to commit an offense. One of them also faces a possession of a prohibited weapon charge. 2 teenagers, 15 and 17 years old, are also facing similar charges.
It's an unfortunate series of circumstances that these things keep occurring, especially, in our malls, more specifically the Oshawa Centre. This has happened time and time again. We are doing everything in our power to speak with government officials and work on those relationships to see what we can do to make it so these things don't occur again.
All were held for a bail hearing.
And that report from CTV's Allison Hurst in Oshawa tonight. Okay, time for a first check on the weather. Let's head outside to Ashley Bacon now, joining us maybe for the first time since the weather got nicer from the patio here at CTV. Ash.
You're right, Tony. It is not bad. And we had such a beautiful day out today. I had to come out here at least for this one hit because it's not going to last. And I'm sure you can see behind me, we're starting to get a bit of overcast. The wind is picking up a little bit. Things are going to start to cool down. Thankfully, not too much for tomorrow, but with it, some precipitation. We are looking at a rather wet week ahead of us, so I hope you got out and enjoyed today so far. If you haven't, you have a few more hours before the rain really comes. Let's take a look at our satellite just to paint a picture of what we're in for. At the moment, we're not seeing too much in the way of precipitation. We are going to see more come through around the midnight hour, so it's not too bad. But if we take a look at what's happening right now in Waterloo region, check out that temperature. It is still so warm and nice out there. A nice soft 30-kilometer-an-hour winds from the southwest, so we're not looking at extreme temperatures right now. Unfortunately, as I just mentioned, we are looking at some rain coming through overnight. We aren't going to get much as a drop in temperature overnight, so that's great news. We're going to see above seasonal temperatures, Tony, but you're going to want to have that umbrella handy probably by the time you're headed home after the late show tonight.
Lots of changes in store this week. Okay, Ash, thank you so much. We'll talk to you shortly. More than a year after Jiwan Chanika suddenly left his position as Director of Education at the Waterloo Region District School Board, there's still no answer as to why. However, CTV News has learned more about some of the costs related to his departure. CTV's Krista Simpson joining us now with some exclusive details tonight in a story that you've been working on for quite some time, Krista.
Well, Tony, for more than a year, CTV News has been trying to get answers through a Freedom of Information request, trying to find out why Chanika left and at what cost to taxpayers. Well, most of our inquiries have been denied. We have been provided with legal invoice totals adding up to more than $116,000 for some kind of review or investigation ahead of his departure. What's more, Chanika also still received payment from the board last year. In spite of the fact that he did not actually work for the Waterloo Region District School Board in 2025, former Director of Education Jiwan Chanika was paid $276,999.98 last year, making him the second highest paid person at the board according to Ontario's Sunshine List, behind only the current Director of Education. The school board's Freedom of Information, Privacy and Records Office indicated to CTV that salary continuance is often part of a director's personal service agreement. Chanika was hired by the board in June 2021, a tenure marked with tumult, with questions raised about decisions being made, the direction the board was taking, and how it handled crises. The school board often unwilling to provide interviews, giving written statements instead, raising questions about a lack of accountability. Chanika's departure from the school board in December 2024 was announced in an all-staff email, with no details as to the circumstances surrounding it. Please be advised that Jiwan Chanika is no longer the Director of Education of the Waterloo Region District School Board. We thank him for his leadership and contributions and wish him all the best in his future endeavors. The board declined to comment further. Since then, CTV News has been asking for information into the seemingly sudden change through a Freedom of Information request. Most of CTV's requests were denied. However, through mediation with the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Ontario, we were eventually provided with some numbers in response to our request to provide the costs associated with any third-party review or investigation into Jiwan Chanika prior to his departure from the school board. The board provided 3 legal invoice amounts. The first for $47,870.19, another $65,334.62, and the last $3,279.83. Together, they total $116,484.64. No information was released about who the invoices were from, nor the services provided. The board writing, "We will not be releasing any further records, as this is an employment-related matter with solicitor-client privilege." Requests for internal correspondence about Chanika's departure were denied on the basis they're exempt under sections of the Municipal Freedom of Information Act that restrict access to records related to employment-related matters, solicitor-client privilege, or legal advice, and private meetings. The board also denied a request for all costs associated with Chanika's departure, including any severance paid, saying salary continuance would be reflected on the Sunshine List. Our efforts to contact Chanika directly did not receive a response. Tony.
All right, Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson with exclusive new reporting on that Freedom of Information request. Well, they don't always agree on everything, but all 3 levels of government are teaming up to tackle housing affordability. Today, they announced they'll be joining forces to lower municipal development charges, an $8.8 billion plan. And CTV's Siobhan Morris tells us how it's going to work.
It's a new partnership between the federal and provincial governments to jolt lagging home construction back to life. The Prime Minister promising $4.4 billion to municipalities over the next decade.
Matched by Ontario, a total of $8.8 billion to build the housing enabling infrastructure and reduce those development charges.
Those are the fees developers pay to help build things like roads and sewers. The feds and Ontario will help cities with that cash upfront instead. That's if they agree to knock development charges down by at least half for 3 years.
If you don't cut DCs, you aren't getting any money. I'll simplify that. But if you do, we will be there to support you.
That change and a 1-year HST break on the purchase of a new home announced last week
can reduce the fees and taxes on a home in Ontario by up to $200,000.
The shouting you hear is from demonstrators from Grassy Narrows, demanding compensation and a meeting to talk about the ongoing effects of mercury poisoning on the First Nation. At Queen's Park, a new batch of legislative changes Ontario's Minister of Housing thinks will be game changers.
We're establishing an expert third-party advisory panel to find efficiencies within the building code. We are clarifying that municipalities cannot require enhanced development standards through site plans.
And standardizing official plans, something home builders say will cut out confusion.
They build one building on this side of the street and it's another municipality on the other side. The process is different, the costs are different, timelines are different. We need to bring consistency to that.
The hope is altogether changes announced over the last week could double the rate of building.
A woman with dementia facing a criminal charge. A story out of a care home in Grey County that's putting Ontario's domestic violence rules into focus. CTV's John Woodward on the investigation that had police and the care centre saying they had no choice but to arrest a 93-year-old woman who has dementia.
I'm Karis Mapp outside of Kitchener City Hall, where moments ago housing advocates were holding a rally ahead of a committee now underway. People in attendance are waiting to hear about a potential rent-eviction bylaw which would help tenants protect themselves from bad faith landlords using N13 notices to evict people and raise rent prices. That story is just ahead.
Well, you might want to get out and enjoy the day while you can. Above seasonal temperatures are going to stick around for the next 24 hours, but rain is on the way. Those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Kitchener City councillors are set to dive into a discussion tonight about a renoviction bylaw. It's something that some cities have already brought in. Rules designed to protect tenants from landlords who abuse the system under the guise of renovating. CTV's Karis Mapp joining us now, live from Kitchener City Hall. Karis, we should note this is hitting council at the committee level tonight, so no final decision this evening. But we had some tenant advocates rallying outside. They want council to go ahead with this.
That's right, Tony. It's much quieter out here now, but leading up to that 6 o'clock committee meeting, roughly or 2 dozen housing advocates were out here chanting and waving signs in favor of a renoviction bylaw to be implemented right here in Kitchener. Now, that bylaw in question tonight would require landlords in the city to get a $650 license for every unit for any renovation that requires the tenant to vacate said unit. On top of that, the landlord would need to provide the tenant with documentation such as building permits and a professional assessment confirming the unit actually needs to be empty for the work to be done. Rally attendees say they've been waiting for over 4 years for this day. Meanwhile, other municipalities such as Waterloo, London, Hamilton, and Toronto have already adopted similar bylaws. But people planning to delegate tonight say they'll be asking for tenant protections to be added similar to nearby cities.
So what we're going to be asking for is tenant compensation in the form of rent gap payments or alternative accommodations throughout the duration of the renovation, and moving costs to be included as well. And that's what Toronto has, and that's what Hamilton has. Hamilton has just added the moving costs to their bylaw. So why should we wait? I mean, Toronto and Hamilton didn't have to wait as long as we do, so why would we do a half measures bylaw when we can just do something that's as good as Hamilton and Toronto?
The meeting just recently began, as I said earlier, so I'll be heading in there shortly to hear how committee votes and get reaction from those who attended the rally earlier. Tony.
Okay, we'll look forward to that tonight. Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Mapp joining us live from Kitchener City Hall. Well, some voters in the city of Waterloo might be able to cast their ballot from home in this fall's municipal election. Council has asked city staff to look into setting up a new bylaw for a vote-at-home method. The idea is to send city staff around to people's homes if they are unable to get out and vote because of illness, injury, or disability. Waterloo city officials say this is something that's worked well in other places.
It's difficult to find like an accessible taxi or a way to get to the polling station. So this is another way to encourage voter turnout. We're also going to continue what we call our super vote locations, because those were very, very popular in the last election. And we're going to extend the advanced voting hours over Thanksgiving weekend.
So Waterloo is looking into this. Last year, the city of Kitchener approved a pilot project for at-home voting and drive-through voting. Details for that will be shared closer to the municipal election, which is expected in October. Police in Grey County have arrested and charged a 93-year-old woman with assaulting her 93-year-old husband, even though she has severe dementia. Now, the OPP say the province's domestic violence rules say they had no choice. But as CTV's John Woodward reports, it's not that simple.
All right, just like that.
Charlie Jackson is a retired church minister. He met Evelyn Patton in his 80s, and they got married.
It's wonderful. She's such a sweet little girl.
As they entered their 9th decade, they moved into Grey Gables retirement home in Markdale, Ontario. Jackson stayed with Patton as her dementia got worse. At one point, she was confused and hit him.
She's smaller than I am, so I wasn't hurt at all. I have to look at it and say, it's not Evelyn, it's the dementia.
But Grey Gables called the Ontario Provincial Police, who arrived and arrested and charged Evelyn Patton.
She is confined to a wheelchair. She can't move on her own, and the police are there confronting her, and she completely melted down.
Patton was asked to be fingerprinted. The care home put the couple in different rooms.
She was so disoriented because any kind of change for someone with dementia is awful.
As the care home and the OPP tell it, everything that happened here was mandatory. The care home was obliged to report the incident to the police, which had to arrest and charge her, thanks to Ontario's mandatory charging rules.
The OPP said specifically in cases of intimate partner violence, all police officers in Ontario are mandated by legislation. There is no discretion to decide not to lay a charge when grounds exist.
Why that officer arrested Ms. Patton is beyond me.
Patton's lawyer, Andrew Luke, says her severe dementia meant she could not form any criminal intent, a key component of reasonable grounds, and the officers should have recognized the policy didn't apply.
I think further education would absolutely be helpful.
Ontario's Solicitor General said the policy doesn't require arrests in all circumstances, saying local police services are responsible for applying these procedures. Luke said a Crown prosecutor dropped the charge quickly, and soon Patton was back living with Jackson in Grey Gables. Patton's family says this should never have gone as far as it did.
Mom was in a delirium. She has no recollection of what she did.
A person with dementia is not a criminal. The person with dementia it's a health thing.
Jackson says the home helped in changing Patton's medication, and she's much closer now to being the person he married.
I love that little girl.
John Woodward, CTV News.
A new article in the Canadian Medical Association Journal looks at Canada's medical preparedness for military conflict overseas. As CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, like many countries, we no longer have military hospitals.
It's a grim prospect St. Mike's trauma surgeon Dr. Andrew Beckett is examining: mass Canadian casualties from an overseas military conflict.
Under NATO Article 3, we're expected to have capacity to care for mass casualties within our country.
During World War II, Canada had 13,000 military hospital beds to care for personnel hurt overseas, but we haven't had military hospitals since 1994. Now military patients are seen in civilian hospitals.
These would place a tremendous burden on the provincial healthcare systems, which we know are always tight for beds.
And there can be differences between military and civilian cases.
There's a lot more penetrating injury, meaning that the skin is broken with a lot more tissue damage from rifle bullets or artillery shells. So the wounds can be a lot dirtier because there's a lot more debris put into the wound, and so there's affections are a lot more predominant.
Beckett, who has served as a surgeon with the armed forces for decades, says a first step should be establishing a national organizational structure
to be able to respond to the emergency, and also to have defined responsibilities for healthcare needs of both military and civilian populations.
Will we see a return of military hospitals?
That's an excellent question. There's no current plans for that at this time, but we don't know what the challenges are going to be in the future and how we're going to have to respond. What I would like to see is us being able to provide the best level of care for both our citizens of Canada and as well as our military forces that may serve overseas.
The article deals with overseas conflicts, but Dr. Beckett says this kind of preparation will also serve Canada for domestic catastrophes such as wildfires and natural disasters. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A live look outside right now from Kitchener City Hall. It's 17 degrees right now, and still more than an hour to go until the official sunset time, but we're not going to be seeing much of a sunset by the looks of it. Look at that cloud that's moved in. And Ash was outside just a few moments ago and told me you can already start to feel things getting cooler. So we'll have Ashley back at the desk in just a few moments for the long-range forecast. Also ahead, cleared away. Some trees removed ahead of a development that some Kitchener residents have been fighting near the Huron Natural area. And next, trying to stay ahead of climbing gas prices, what some countries are doing to deal with the double whammy at the pumps. All right, Ashley's here with our long-range forecast. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday, and what a way to start the week, Tony.
A short work week.
A short work week and a beautiful 20-degree sunny day in March. I'll take that all day long.
Well, I hope you liked it today, because that's about all we're getting. Actually, it's kind of started yesterday. I noticed it was feeling really warmer as of yesterday morning, and then gorgeous mild air lasting through the day today. But you were saying even just a couple of minutes ago outside, already starting to feel cooler.
In between our shows, between the 5 o'clock and the 6, where you just saw me outside, the temperatures dropped a couple of degrees. degrees. And even though it was just a couple of degrees, with the overcast, the wind is picking up a little bit. It really does make a difference. Definitely would need a little jacket out there right now.
And we've got maybe a bit of a show on the way overnight tonight as far as storms go.
If you're a storm watcher tonight, you might want to wake up really early because you might see it. Let's take a look outside at that overcast. You can see it is starting to get really dark out there. And keep in mind, sun setting closer to 8 o'clock than 7 o'clock now. So for it to be that dark out there means something is on the way. And as Tony just alluded to it, we are going to have quite a show potentially overnight with the risk of a thunderstorm both in the early hours of tomorrow and tomorrow morning. So let's get right into it because there's lots to talk about. We'll start with our futurecast that really paints a picture. This is all of the cloud cover that we're currently seeing. Now that's going to continue to push through. Around 11 p.m. that's when we're going to start to see our first instances of rain. Darker green means heavier rain. When we start to get into the yellows and oranges, that's storm activity. So as we push through the overnight hours, around 3 a.m. we will see a potential storm here in Waterloo region. Now this is quite a big band of precipitation, a big storm. So a lot of the region will, a lot of southwestern Ontario rather, will see some of that activity. Now that's going to continue into Tuesday morning, still heavy rain. So your commute to work and school in the morning might be a bit of a messy one, a slower one. So do take your time. Now, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, around that time frame, there is a potential for another storm cell to build. So we aren't out of the woods after that initial storm cell first thing in the morning. We could see pocket storms throughout. Now we are looking at around 40 millimeters of rain. Now that can change or be localized in some areas with heavier rain depending on those thunderstorms. So do take care. There is already a flood watch for low-lying areas issued by the GRCA tonight. So if you are in those areas that generally will see higher water levels, make sure you are safe. As we look to what's happening across the country, on the west coast, 6 degrees in Vancouver. Over the Rockies, it's -4 in Edmonton. Saskatoon's getting a bit of snow this hour, -6, and in Thompson, -6 as well. Over in our nation's capital, still very comfortable, 11 degrees. Windsor still at 21 this hour. Now, they're also going to see a fall in temperatures over the next few days like we will. We're going to get closer to what we should be seeing as we get closer to the end of the week. -1 in St. John's, but here in Waterloo region, we're sitting at a very nice 17 degrees still, but as we talked about just earlier, it is starting to feel a lot cooler. Overnight, we're only dipping down to 8 degrees, so we are still going to see much warmer temperatures than we should for this time of year. The good news is tomorrow, even though it's going to be quite rainy, still expecting a well above seasonal high of 17 degrees. Unfortunately, that's where the heat streak will end because we are looking at averages this time of year of 7 and -3. So by comparison, we are well above seasonal in that respect. However, as we take a look at our 7-day forecast starting in Waterloo region, overnight on Wednesday, we are going to be back into those negative temperatures. Don't shoot the messenger, Tony. I'm just here to tell you what's going to happen. Okay, so it will get cooler, which could mean some of that rainfall and water runoff from snow melt could turn into ice. So we want to be careful Wednesday into Thursday. As we look at Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions, 23 the expected high for Windsor tomorrow with a risk of thunderstorms as we just saw. 5 overnight though, so quite a dramatic change there, and we'll see some showers at the end of the work week there. In southern Georgian Bay, similar to there, not quite as warm, very much seasonal. So basically have your umbrellas handy. We are in for a wet start to April. Okay, let's take a look at tonight's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Luke, who says he's been a long-time viewer but first-time Weather Watcher submitter who loves seeing the pictures that other viewers send in and got inspired by it and did so himself. So thank you, Luke, for sharing this beautiful sky with us tonight.
Appreciate it, Luke. And you know, it just goes to show you can be out there and just something catches your eye. There's so much beauty in everything all around us, and we love to showcase it.
Absolutely. I'd like to see some storm pics. So if we've got some early risers or overnight workers that watch the show, please take some storm pics if it's safe to do so.
Or if your home cameras capture anything and you can get a still of it and send it to us, we'll continue this story tomorrow.
Absolutely.
On the other side of the storm. Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
Canadians are cutting back not just on traveling, but on other expenses in order to afford higher gas prices. The Iran war has been impacting costs, but so will the switch over to the summertime gasoline blend. Some countries are coming up with ways to reduce the pain at the pump. Here's CTV's John Venevali Rao.
With drivers continuing to feel the squeeze, many worry the cost of that fill-up will keep on going up.
We have nothing to do with the war, but we're paying for it. Painful, you know?
In Toronto, gas is back above $1.70, and some hoping politicians will soon step in to offer some relief.
The gas is too expensive now. I don't like it, so I plan to change to the electric car now.
To drive down the pressure at the pumps, in some parts of Australia, states have made public transportation free. The country's tax on fuel and diesel is also being cut in half for 3 months.
We understand the cost pressures for people are very real as the impact of the war on the other side of the world plays out right here.
Italy's prime minister also moved to temporarily cut a consumer tax on fuel. And the Canadian Taxpayers Federation is pushing for governments to offer up the same here.
The least they could do would be to temporarily suspend their fuel taxes, but, they should be providing real full-time relief.
The group noting the federal government charges an excise tax of 10 cents per litre for gas, 4 cents per litre on diesel. Provinces have their own fuel taxes, and there's GST added.
Some of these taxes are very painful. If you look at places like Vancouver or Montreal, taxes are costing up to about 65 cents per litre of gasoline.
With the war in Iran now into its 5th week and oil prices again climbing, the federal finance minister was asked if the government would cut fuel taxes like Australia.
I mean, we're following the situation very carefully.
The minister wouldn't say, while noting Canada is increasing oil production.
Meanwhile, other countries like Spain, Portugal, and Ireland have also cut taxes on gas and diesel, at least temporarily. John Venevalley-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, finding fame on the pizza cam. CTV's Spencer Turcotte on the food vending machine with a twist that's been racking up views.
Explosive rhythm, percussion, dance, theater, comedy, and more. CTV Kitchener is giving you the chance to experience the global phenomenon Stomp live at Center in the Square on April 17th. Enter now for your chance to win tickets at ctvkitchener.ca.
A pizza vending machine is a pretty unique business model to begin with, but one that's on the University of Guelph's campus is attracting plenty of new customers thanks to a doorbell camera on it, which has captured people's creativity when it comes to how they wait for their pizza. CTV's Spencer Turcotte explains.
A pizza vending machine in Guelph has become a crowd favorite. What's not to love about a contraption that spits out 6 different kinds of pizzas, especially after a night of drinking? After 4 years on the University of Guelph campus, the operators of this pizza forno machine decided to document who is stopping by.
We've heard from students like how rowdy and funny you can get here at late at night.
So it's as easy as walking up, pressing the button. You hear the ding, wait for the pizza, and the fun begins. In the 3 minutes it takes for the machine to deliver the pizza, people have gotten quite creative in the videos.
Just this weekend, we had a band here that showed up and played a cover of Wonderwall.
2 days, What began as some antics posted on the Guelph Pizza Forno social media accounts has turned into some impressive marketing.
It's become like a phenomenon. Like, we've only really been doing it for 2 weeks and we've got, 800,000 video views. Like, it's definitely been, a surge in sales. I mean, right now we're pretty much sold out.
The best video from each week is entered into a contest to win a free pizza. And marketing expert Brad Davis believes the Pizza Cam creators have struck gold with this idea.
I love it. I love the idea. The challenge with creativity is typically finding a new way to talk about your product.
These days, Davis says advertising campaigns can be costly and sometimes corny because we're used to seeing actors try to sell a product. In this case, you have videos of real people having fun while buying a product.
When you see something that effectively looks like kind of almost home movies, or there's kind of almost surveillance going on where people are just being natural, it can be very, very effective.
So, next time you're craving a slice and want to give the pizza vending machine a try, just remember, say cheese. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Guelph.
All right, let's recap our top stories now. Leanne Evans is in studio with us with the latest. Leanne, we begin with a murder trial that got underway in Brantford.
Yeah, Tony, Elfgard Outred is charged with second-degree murder in the 2022 death of her 82-year-old husband, Gordon. On day one of the trial, the Crown laid out their case against Elfgard. They told the jury Gordon was found lying in a pool of blood in the kitchen of the couple's farmhouse. The Crown also claimed Elfgard had a gambling addiction, and the problem was a source of conflict between the couple. Police are looking for a suspect in a Kitchener robbery. They released video showing a masked man demanding money while holding a large kitchen knife. It happened at a store in the area of Belmont and Glasgow Streets. The suspect took off on a bicycle. Police believe they're a white man in his 40s, around 5'7", with a slim build.
And on our website tonight, Leanne, a Cambridge company facing a large fine.
Yeah, $80,000 to be exact, and it comes after a worker was hurt at a job site in Whitby. You can read more about what happened and the company involved by scanning the QR code, downloading the CTV News app, or going to ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
All right, Leanne, with our top stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A controversial industrial development in Kitchener is once again in the spotlight, with those who lobbied against it now unhappy to see trees being cleared from the site. The property is next to, though not part of, the Huron Natural Area. CTV's Krista Simpson reports.
Trees cut down on this site of a future industrial park along Strasbourg Road and McBride Drive in Kitchener. A jarring sight for those who have opposed the development for some time.
Yeah, it's very upsetting to see them to get cut down. It was a whole ecosystem in itself there.
Dozens of demonstrators gathered at the nearby Huron Natural Area Sunday to express their concern over the tree removal. The group then walked to McBride Drive to see the site for themselves.
Green space is not just to be disposed of for economic gain. We have to keep remembering that the earth is important to us.
The property in question was put up for sale by the city in 2018 and is zoned for industrial development. Back in November, Kitchener City Council approved a plan by developer Gateman Malloy to divide the space to create an industrial park of 10 buildings.
Do we need 10 more lots of industrial land? I don't believe so.
The plan also includes the creation of 12 acres of new wetlands and habitat areas that will border Huron Natural Area and will be transferred to the city. The president of Gateman Malloy tells CTV News the tree clearing is being done now to comply with guidelines put in place by the province's Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, and all work is being supervised by the city and professional ecologists. In a statement, the City of Kitchener says the tree removal is being done as part of preliminary site preparation, and as far as the city knows, all environmental protection measures are being followed. Members of the group Protect Huron Natural Area, who organized Sunday's demonstration, still feel the tree removal didn't have to happen and the industrial park plan didn't have to be approved in the first place. They want city councillors to know that all this will be on their minds when it comes time to cast their ballots in October's municipal elections.
We look at their actions, not their words. So if they're voting in ways that are not in our best interests, we'll find someone that will that share our values that will vote with us.
As they call for green space in Kitchener to be protected.
It's about the whole ecosystem, the whole idea that we wanted to protect an area for future generations.
Krista Simpson, CTV News, Kitchener.
Still ahead, serving up and telling a story with reclaimed wood. The Waterloo man who's putting custom touches on some naturally inspired creations. What was once destined for the fire is finding new life at the table. A Waterloo man is turning reclaimed hardwood into handcrafted serving boards. We get a closer look at Young and Bored on this week's edition of Made Right Here.
Hi, I'm Alan Young from Young and Bored, and I make charcuterie boards with resin and wood. I have an office job, 9 to 5, and this is something that gets me out in my workshop. It's something that I have a passion for, and I make dust, as I joke with my neighbor all the time. First thing I'll do is I'll take an axe to it, chop it in half. I find that's the perfect place in nature, as it would, to put the river through it. The ambrosia maple, it has just this beautiful lineage through it, as well as the dark walnut. A lot of characteristic to it. Those are the ones that I love. What I do is I'll have to run it through my jointer, run it through my planer. I'll chip off any of the bark, so I'll take that down. Then the next step is finding the absolute perfect color mixtures. What I usually do is I'll take 3 different coloring agents, mix them up. I've kind of found that I've done a lot of different sizes, and 24 inches, after you have the resin in it, it has this real sturdy feel to it. It's really solid, and it's got this gravitas to it. It's something that you can give it to, you know, that really hard to find for a person that you bring it for wedding gift or their anniversary gift. I really love customizing things. You know, give me a color mixture that you want. I'll try anything for you, and I'll try over and over, in fact, until I get the right thing. Probably the biggest thing is it's my target force of my creativity. I've always had this creative mind to come up with things. And coming out here, I'm able to make one-of-a-kind pieces. It's just unique, and I just love making these for people. We get so much great feedback. They love the creativity. They love the flow of the resin, the color interactions. There's always something unique that I've got on these. It's food for my soul.
Some of the biggest names in Canadian music were in the spotlight at the Juno Awards last night. CTV's Andrea Case shows us who took the hardware.
It's been a while, but legendary rock band Rush found its way back home. Back on stage playing the first song of their self-titled first album released this month, 52 years ago. With new drummer Germany's Annika Nilles replacing the original man behind the kit, the late Neil Peart. The 55th annual Juno Awards celebrating the best in Canadian music spanned from the past to the present. Performing and winning on stage at Hamilton's TD Coliseum, Toronto's The Beaches won Best Group for the 3rd year in a row. In the crowd, Toronto's Mustafa presented his friend and collaborator, Oshawa's Daniel Caesar, the International Achievement Award. He also took home contemporary R&B record called Son of Spurgey.
I want to say thank you to my dad. This is Spurgey right here.
It's nice to know I got options. BC's Cameron Whitcomb took home the Breakthrough Artist and Country Album of the Year. It literally had him jumping for joy.
Being a woman in the music industry in any era is something that I have to tip my hat to. The men in this business do not make it any easier.
Drake made this video appearance in honor of his friend, Canadian Music Hall of Fame inductee, Nelly Furtado.
Totally believe in the Canadian dream. Please believe it too.
Prime Minister Mark Carney was on hand to bestow the Lifetime Achievement Award to 82-year-old Joni Mitchell.
I want to thank the Junos for this great honor. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad to be back in Canada.
There was a time Mitchell thought she wouldn't sing again, but she has, and she did. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Ah, what a moment, a national treasure. All right, let's check in with Ashley.
Well, we're in for a wet overnight and potential thunderstorms. Just how bad will it be on your commute to work and school tomorrow? I'll have those details after this break. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Extracted at 8, then Memory of a Killer at 9, and cap your night off with The Rookie at 10.
Not giving drivers a break at the pumps.
That's insane.
Definitely need to get some tax cuts.
What other countries are doing to lower gas prices? And could Canada be next in line? We'll have that story and more later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Okay, let's check in with Leanne now for what our team is watching for later tonight. Leanne.
Well, Tony, Kitchener City Council is discussing a renoviction bylaw tonight. If implemented, it would require landlords in the city to get a $650 license for every unit for any renovation that requires the tenant to vacate the unit. Some tenant advocates were rallying outside ahead of the meeting, urging council move forward with this. CTV's Karis Mapp is following the discussion and will bring us more details at 11:30. Tony.
Leanne, thank you so much, as always. And Ashley, our wake-up weather for Friday is looking a little little on the stormy side.
Unfortunately, Tony, it's not Friday tomorrow.
Oh my God. Do you know why I said that? Do you know why I said that?
Why is that?
I'm taking off for Easter after that.
Of course.
And I have Wednesday and Thursday off, so it's Monday, and I'm thinking it's Friday tomorrow.
I mean, we all wish it was, but we are into Tuesday tomorrow. And unfortunately, it is going to be a bit of a messy start. I apologize. My voice is cracking up a little bit here. It's we could see some thunderstorms, as we saw earlier in the cast, around 8 degrees by 6 a.m. The good news is 12 by 10. So.
All right. And now that we know what day it is, let's get on to something interesting. We often need a little caffeine boost throughout the day. Apparently, so did some. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Apparently, so do some of our feathered friends.
This video was taken at the Starbucks at Wilfrid Laurier University campus late last week. Shows some geese waddling around before taking flight as students scramble to get out of the way.
Oh my goodness. We did hear, by the way, late today that it was a sliding door that was, and they got in quickly.
Well, hopefully they got out safely as well.
All right, before we go, Ashley, you have something to share with us, but we're going to show you the video. First, this is the Bell Hockey Classic.
It is. We had the pleasure of playing in it yet again this year over the weekend. That's part of the reason why my voice is a bit raspy, Tony. So I had the pleasure of playing with an incredible group of women who are members of Bell, not just Bell Media, but the Bell community from across the country. And, you know, we took a little hardware home.
Let's show that hardware.
You know, and I'm very proud. We got silver this year. We faced the BMO team. Thank you, Tony, again for the finals. So it's been us against the BMO girls in the finals the last 3 years, and they finally got their gold. So congratulations, Kelly, Captain Kelly and her team.
Incredible, incredible. And that's where Ashley was on Friday, and they took it the distance. Good work.
Thank you.
We'll see you at 11:30. Have a good night.